By clicking on this video, you have made a really good decision. This video is one of my personal favorites, and the information in this video is truly astounding and very important. This will sound very strange, but a very prophetic hockey game in February of 2020, in which a player for the St. Louis Blues suffered a heart attack, is a prophecy that is predicting that President Trump will die from a heart attack on November 12th, 2022. Trump's death from a heart attack will symbolize the State of the Union and America's spiritual condition, which is heart disease towards God. Besides what I am about to explain, the proof that these predictions were made ahead of time is the date that YouTube says this video was posted, and videos can't be edited once they are posted. Additionally, what documents that these predictions were made ahead of time are these emails that are timestamped by Google, as well as these PDF documents that were created by a company named Forensic Notes. If you are skeptical, email me and I will forward these to you. All of the videos on this channel that regard the prediction for Trump's death are very different from each other, and all of them contain truly astounding and extremely important information, and many of them are my personal favorite videos. I highly recommend watching all of the Trump videos that are predicting the date that he will die. President Trump is from New York City, and he is known for his towers in Manhattan. It was Flight 11 with a crew of 11 people. The second plane had a crew of 9 people that flew into the Twin Towers that looked like a giant 11 in New York State, the 11th state to join the Union. This is because Jesus coined the phrase the 11th hour, which in ancient Israel referred to the last hour of daylight before darkness, and in English is an idiom that means last chance. Time is running out, as in last chance for the nation to repent and to turn back to God. This 11th hour going into the 12th hour symbolism for the last chance for the nation to repent and turn back to God is why just 2 months after 9/11 in 2001, on the date 11/12, American Airlines Flight 587 crashed into a residential neighborhood of Queens, New York City. President Trump was born and raised in Queens, New York City, and this crash was pointing to the death of President Trump, as Trump is God's trumpet that he uses to trumpet and highlight his prophetic signs. On this same day that Flight 587 crashed in Queens, New York, was the first time ever the New Jersey State Lotto held 2 Pick-3 lotteries in one day. The numbers for the Pick-3 Lotto on the day that Flight 587 crashed were 587 and 578. On the 1-year anniversary of 9/11, on 9/11 in 2002, the Pick-3 Lotto numbers in New York State were 911. The reason for the numbers in Flight 587 and the Lotto numbers of 587 and 578 is that this hints at the number 20. 5 plus 8 plus 7 equals 20. In the Bible, a 20-year period symbolizes a perfect and complete period of waiting. Jacob waited 20 years to get possession of his wives and property. The children of Israel waited 20 years to be freed of Jabin, the king of Canaan, when they were freed from bondage by Deborah and Barak. The Ark of the Covenant waited 20 years in Kiriath Jearim, and Solomon spent 20 years building his home and the house of God. The 9/11 judgment warning sign was a massive sign that communicated a final 20 years period of grace for America to repent and turn back to God. On 9/11, it was Flight 11 with a crew of 11 people. The second plane had a crew of 9 people that flew into the Twin Towers that looked like a giant 11 in New York State, the 11th state to join the Union. This is because Jesus coined the phrase the 11th hour, which in ancient Israel referred to the last hour of daylight before darkness, the 11th hour going into the 12th hour. And in English, the 11th hour is an idiom that means last chance. Time is running out, as in last chance for the nation to repent and turn back to God before judgment destruction. This is why Flight 587 crashed on the date 11/12 in 2001. The date 11/12 hints at the 11th hour going into the 12th hour. And this was why it was almost exactly 2 months after 9/11, which hinted at the 20-year period of grace and opportunity to repent. It crashed in Queens, New York City because Trump was born and raised in Queens, New York. Trump and his presidency has been one massive prophetic sign that has trumpeted judgment warning for America. Trump was a big part of the 9/11 judgment warning sign. On the day of 9/11, Trump was interviewed live for around 10 minutes on a major news station in New York City. In a few minutes, I will explain the extreme importance of God pairing the numbers 9 and 110 together in his big picture of signs in order to confirm the signs and connections and to point to 9/11. From the Bible, the number 9 symbolizes God's judgment, and in his big picture of prophetic signs, the number 9 is the most important number. Trump called into a news station that was named UPN 9. The news station is number 9, and during his interview, he prophetically mentioned the number 110. Trump is God's trumpet that he uses to trumpet and highlight his prophetic signs, and Trump and his presidency was one massive prophetic sign that trumpeted judgment warning. Trump's call to News 9 on 9/11 was a trumpeting confirmation that 9/11 was judgment warning from God. During his phone call that was broadcast on the news channel, Trump mentioned that since the 110 stories of the Twin Towers had collapsed, and he prophetically specifically mentioned 110 stories, he mentioned that his tower had become the tallest tower in downtown Lower Manhattan. In the Bible, towers and collapsed towers are symbolism for judgment, and in Hebrew, the root word for tower is the word for pride. In the Bible, pride is the root of sin. This is why in God's signs, his trumpet, President Trump, is known for his towers. His tower was located at 40 Wall Street. In the Bible, the number 40 appears in context of judgment. In the account of Noah's flood, the flood waters increased for 40 days. 40 Wall Street and Lower Manhattan were flooded in the 2012 Hurricane Sandy prophetic sign. In the book of Joshua, Joshua led the Hebrews around the walls of security of the ancient city of Jericho, and they blew trumpets before they collapsed in God's judgment. Joshua died at the age of 110, and this is why it was 110 stories of the Twin Towers that collapsed on 9/11. Joshua led the Hebrews around the walls of security of the ancient city of Jericho 7 times over 7 days, while 7 priests blew 7 trumpets. This was 3 sets of 7. There are also 3 sets of 7 judgments from God in the book of Revelation. As well, the account of Noah's flood begins with 3 sets of 7 and ends with 3 sets of 7. This is why President Trump will die exactly 3 sets of 7 years after Flight 587 crashed into Queens, New York City. Some social media sites have a maximum length for videos that can be posted, and so I need to cut this video into 2 parts. Click on the link to watch the remainder of this video. You can also find this link in the description box below this video. Make sure you watch the remainder of this extremely important video that is posted on a different channel than the one you are watching now. The link to the rest of this video is in the description box below this video. Hopefully you at least found this introduction video to be interesting, and if so, please leave a like and upvote the video, and please consider sharing the video.